I eat 4 whole eggs every single day. Now, to some people, that probably sounds like a crazy amount, maybe even dangerous. But today, we're going to pull apart the myths and really dig into the science behind what I think is nature's most perfect food. We're going to see why the advice we've been following for decades was, well, completely off track, and how this simple food holds the key to a better brain, a healthier liver, and even protecting your heart. Let's get into it.
For something like 50 years, there's been this story about eggs. A story of fear, really. A warning about a food that humans have been eating forever. And this story pointed a finger directly at the egg yolk, calling it the bad guy. But we've got to ask the question, what if that whole story wasn't just a little mistake? What if it was a giant lie that sent our health in the completely wrong direction?
And this isn't just me saying it. We're talking about one of the biggest pieces of nutritional misinformation in modern history. I mean, think about how powerful this lie was. It convinced millions of people trying to be healthy, to scoop out the yolk and throw away the most nutritious part of the egg, all because they were scared of something that, as we now know, was never a threat to begin with.
This was the official story, broadcast from the highest levels. The idea was simple. The cholesterol you eat in an egg yolk goes straight to your arteries, clogs them up, and gives you a heart attack. And because of this, we got an entire industry of egg white omelets and cartons of liquid egg whites, and people swapped out whole foods for things like sugary cereals. But if you look at how our bodies actually work, you find a very, very different reality.
So to really get why eggs are so special, we have to start with protein. Now, we usually think of protein for one thing, right? Building muscle. But the protein in an egg is on a whole other level. It's designed for a mission that is way more complex than just about any other food out there.
Let's just compare for a second. Think about steak. The protein in steak is muscle tissue. It's designed for one job, basically, movement. It's just one part of a much bigger animal. But an egg is a self-contained universe. It has the complete biological blueprint and all the building materials, the protein, the fat, the vitamins, to build an entire complex living creature from scratch. Every feather, every bone, the brain, the eyes, all of it comes from what's inside that shell.
And because of that incredible design, egg protein has the highest biological value of any food on the planet. That's a scientific term for how well your body can actually absorb and use the protein you eat. And on that scale, eggs are the benchmark. They set the gold standard at 100. Other great sources like beef or milk, they rank lower. This just means your body uses it more efficiently with less waste.
And check out this number, 65%. This is just remarkable. So when you eat a super lean protein like a plain chicken breast, your body can turn some of it into energy, but it's a really inefficient process. But because the egg perfectly packages its protein with amazing, high-quality fats right in the yolk, your body can use a whopping 65% of the egg as clean, stable fuel. It's just an incredibly efficient food.
All right, now we get to the real heart of the matter, the yolk. You know, the part we were told to throw away? This is where the magic is. This is where you find these unique, powerful micronutrients that go way beyond just basic nutrition. They're like little specialists that protect and repair your body all the way down to your DNA.
Let's start with a nutrient called choline. Egg yolks are by far the best source of choline in our diet. And this is a huge deal because it's estimated that something like 90% of us aren't getting enough of it. And choline isn't just some minor vitamin. It's absolutely essential for keeping your liver healthy and even for the structure of every cell in your body.
So what's its superpower? The best way to think about choline is as a detergent for your liver. You see, fatty liver disease is becoming an epidemic, mostly because of our high-sugar diets. Choline is what your body uses to get fat out of the liver. It literally helps break up and transport stored fat away, preventing that dangerous buildup that leads to serious damage.
But it gets even crazier. Choline is also a main player in a process called methylation. Now don't worry about the big word, just think of methylation as a master control system full of switches that turn your genes on and off. This system is what your body uses to repair damaged DNA, to get rid of poisons, and even to help your body work around genetic problems. It is a big-time repair nutrient.
The yolk is also packed with two powerful antioxidants called lutein and zeaxanthin. Now, these aren't just your average antioxidants. They have a special mission, your eyes. Your body actively pulls them from your bloodstream and concentrates them right in the center of your retina, the part you use for sharp, clear vision.
In our world today, we're just drowning in blue light from our phones, our computers, our TVs, and that light can damage the sensitive cells in our eyes over time. Well, lutein and zeaxanthin act as your body's own internal sunglasses. They literally absorb that harsh blue light before it can do any damage.
And the best part? Because they come packaged in the fatty yolk, your body can absorb them incredibly well, way better than from other sources.
So here we are, the big one, the great cholesterol lie. It's time to finally put this myth to bed. Because the amazing truth is that the nutrients in a whole egg don't just not harm your heart. They actually contain specific things that actively protect it.
First things first, cholesterol is not a villain. It is so important to your survival that your own liver makes a whole bunch of it every single day, no matter what you eat. Why? Because you need it to make your hormones, like testosterone and estrogen. You need it to make vitamin D from sunlight. You need it to make bile so you can digest fat. If you starve your body of cholesterol, you're starving it of things it absolutely has to function.
And now for the egg yolk's secret weapon for heart health, vitamin K2. And no, this is not the same as vitamin K1 that you get from leafy greens. That one's for blood clotting. K2 is much harder to find in our modern diet, and it has a totally different and, you could argue, much more important job.
This is the perfect way to understand what K2 does. Think of it as a traffic cop for calcium in your body. Without K2, calcium can get deposited in the wrong places, like the lining of your arteries. That's what hardening of the arteries actually is. What K2 does is it activates these little proteins that grab that misplaced calcium and escort it out of your arteries and into your bones and teeth, where it's supposed to be. So far from clogging your arteries, the yolk helps keep them clean.
Okay, so knowing all this amazing science is one thing, but actually putting it to use is what really matters. And to get all these benefits we're talking about, the type of egg you buy and how you cook it, well, that's everything. Let's talk about how to do it right.
Look, not all eggs are created equal, not even close. The nutrition in an egg comes directly from what the chicken ate. Conventional eggs are from hens stuck in cages eating corn and soy. Pasture-raised eggs come from chickens that get to be outside eating their natural diet of grass and bugs. The result is a way better egg. Way more omega-3s, more vitamin D, more antioxidants. You can see it in the yolk. A deep, rich orange yolk is a sign of a more nutritious egg.
And how you cook it is just as important. Blasting the yolk with high heat can damage all those delicate fats and nutrients. So the best way is to cook it gently. Think over easy, poached, soft-boiled. You want a runny yolk. And here's a pro tip for you. Eat your eggs with some leafy greens like arugula. The fat in the yolk boosts your body's ability to absorb the nutrients from the greens by a huge amount. It's the perfect team. So when you really look at the science, it's clear. The fear of whole eggs that lasted for decades was built on a flawed idea that has been completely debunked. By bringing this food back into your diet, you're giving your body perfect protein, brain-fueling choline, vision-saving antioxidants, and heart-protecting vitamin K2. And that, well, it leads to a much bigger question for all of us to think about. If the experts were so incredibly wrong for so long about something as basic as an egg, what else might they be wrong about?
If this deep dive opened your eyes to this amazing food, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps get this information out to more people who might still be throwing away their yolks. And make sure you subscribe and hit that little bell so you don't miss our next breakdown of health science. Please share this with anyone you know who is still afraid of cholesterol. And finally, I want to know. Drop a comment below and tell me how you like to eat your eggs. I'll be down there reading the replies.